Hello again, Struck Co-op. Today I'm continuing to bring you pre-launch Tiny Tina's Wonderlands theory crafted builds, and I've got 3 more today. The first one, which is in this video, is the Swift Blades build, a build centered around a Stabbomancer main, which you can play with any subclass because we've barely used any points in the subclass tree. I've decided to focus more on the Stabbomancer and to use the Stabbomancer capstone along with the Stabbomancer action skill. So it's all about attacking, doing critting with spells, critting with your attacks. It's pretty solid. It's got speed, it's got melee, it's got crit chance all over the place, and it's decent. So yeah, I think you will like this setup, especially considering that we are stacking status effects to boost our damage and try that rainbow build. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Buckle up and let's go. So yeah, Swift Blades is dominantly a Stabbomancer build. I mean, I've put 37 out of 40 points into that skill tree. And there are many good reasons why one would want to do that with the Stabbomancer, why one would want to make a Stabbomancer which is almost purely, if not even purely, Stabbomancer centric. In the hero stats you would see I've decided to max out my status effect damage. You would see why in a moment. And then I've decided to get maxed out crit chance, and the remaining 20 points would go into spell cooldown rate, which you would see in a moment why that is the case. We're using Ghost Blade, 37 seconds cooldown, from the shadows is 36. If the difference was bigger, maybe I could have done it, but again, you can use from the shadows if you want. In fact, if you don't like Ghost Blade, you can use other things. But look at this thing, Executioner's Blade. Guns and spell critical hits have 20% chance to create an ethereal blade above the target, which will impale them after a short delay. Ethereal blades deal melee damage based on the Fate Maker's equipped melee weapon, and the damage is 100% of your melee weapon. And I'm assuming this melee weapon 100% damage will be boosted by melee damage increases, most likely. I'm not sure how the game formula works, but I think this works. And since that means we will be using guns, we will be using spells a lot to trigger this, but we also need melee bonuses. And this one does melee damage, that means it takes advantage of those melee bonuses. If you don't like this, sure, from the shadows then would be nice if you don't wanna use that, but this one is nice because you can move it around the place. It has decent duration, and repositioning it only removes 5% of the duration, so that's only 0.8 seconds reduction of the total 16-second duration. And maybe there would be items that increases the duration, or also there's gonna be a reduced cooldown. This 37 seconds cooldown is the base, since we have we can use this to reduce the cooldown if we want to, but I think it's better to reduce the spell cooldown so we can cast our spell whichever we decide to pick more often. And yeah, putting some points into it seems like a good choice. I mean, sure, you can go without those 10%, but 10% is not a bad thing. Now let's talk about all the other stuff I've picked. Arsenal, melee, spell gun damage. Haste, we need to move quicker so that we benefit from swift death, which gives us better damage, not just gun but all sources of damage, the faster we move. This status effect damage, status effect duration, that's why I've picked status effect damage. 40% duration is huge, believe me, it's a lot. That's pretty much 40% extra damage to your status effects in the long run from the effect duration, on top of the 20% damage, on top of this 40% damage. Then here, exploit their weakness, a very crucial skill. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect to an enemy, the affected enemy takes 6%, which is 2% per level, per point in this skill, and there might be items that give you levels to this. Ideally, you would want those items. They take 6% increased damage from all sources for its duration. This effect can stack per unique status effect. So if it's burning and if it's shocked with the lightning, that's 2 times 6%. And then if it's poisoned, that's another 6%, and we are up to 18. And now if we manage to put some dark damage from some weapon or from whatever, we can get dark damage maybe from a spell, that brings us to 24%. And if we manage to even inflict frost on it, boom, 30% increased damage from all sources. A rainbow build. Can we get the rainbow build? That depends on items. If you switch between guns with different effects, it will be possible. And moving on to status effect synergies, Contagion. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect, there is a 24% chance it spreads to nearby enemies. So this will really help a lot in the long run. If no enemies are nearby, apply a different random status effect to the initial enemy instead. But the new status effect damage will be 50% of the applied status effect damage. But again, we really want to afflict as many status effects as possible. Which is amazing for that setup. And then another synergy for status effects is 1 point. This is optional, but I think you should take it. Melee critical hits apply a random status effect. Status effect damage, 10% of melee damage dealt. Again, this is not for damage, this is for applying the status effect, which will give us damage, which will increase the damage that we do to an enemy that's afflicted by it via exploit their weakness. So moving on, we have Elusive. I think this is another optional one pointer. So yeah, Elusive is the Fate Maker can shoot and sprint at the same time. The Fate Maker gains 10% chance to evade upcoming damage while moving at default walk speed. The faster they move, the greater the bonus. And over here you're seeing a point into this, and that is not the case. There shouldn't be a point there. I will change that screenshot later, so ignore this 1 point here. It should not be there. It should be 0. I mean, if you want to, sure, maybe you can consider it as an optional thing. Here blue numbers means things that are flexible, things that you can change. White numbers means things that should be there. This you can consider it a 0, a blue 0, because this is a mistake and it shouldn't be there. Those 5 points, sneak attack, crit damage, I think it should be there. If you want, sure, you can sacrifice that, get extra 5 points, and maybe put them towards this so you can get extra action skill cooldown rate based on remaining ward, or you can even increase your elemental damage, which will be nice. 4% per point is not a bad thing. But it's up to you. I think this could be considered blue. I personally consider it a white static point. Then this 5 points here, 1000 cuts, grants 1% increased damage dealt per stack for 12 seconds, which is 25 stacks, which means 25% increased damage for 12 seconds. If you keep critting, and with this build you will be critting, you will be shitting crits all over the place. You will be painting the place with crits if crits were shit, and the place was a tight toilet room. So, Alchemical Agent, melee critical hits apply around the status effect. We told you it's a must-have in my opinion, but some of you might want to remove it. So that's why I put it as a blue. And then Executioner's Blade, we are building around this, so obviously that needs to be there. Here I decided to take this, so when we do gun damage and the Wyvern does their own damage, there's bonus fire. I'm hoping this bonus fire damage actually lets us do fire. If not, then it's pointless. And I'm hoping that this one gives our melee attacks and the Wyvern companions extra bonus lightning damage. And I'm hoping this actually lets us do lightning, even if we don't have any other source of lightning. I hope this gives us a chance to afflict with shock and with burning. If not, you can choose a different class, like a spell shot, and get some reload speed or spell crit chance, or even this one, or you can even get Spore Warden for gun damage. I mean, 3 points into gun damage is solid. Even this one is not bad as a Q skill. So there's just, let's show you some of the options. For Graveborn, damage dealt per level per companion. I mean, you will have one companion, so that's 9% damage dealt and 45% companion respawn, not bad. This one's also nice, Q skill, spell cooldown. This one, HP and dark magic efficiency, not bad if you want to help yourself with the dark magic. And Berserker, I mean, for enraged it's not bad. And this gives you frost damage, and this is an amazing synergy. If you go this, I would say 3 points here into savagery is the way to go. Frost damage increased. You don't need frost damage increase, you need chance to afflict frost damage increase. I mean, sure, frost damage is not gonna be bad, especially if you wanna do melee, especially if you want the enemies to take more damage. I think this savagery 3 points is probably the way I would do this build in the end. If only if the Quobringer like that doesn't increase my chance, it doesn't give me a chance to do lightning damage without stacking it from other places. Because if this works, that means I don't have to worry about fire and lightning. I just need to figure out a way to get the other 3 elements, and that would help with the rainbow. And yeah, I think this is it for the setup. It's a solid setup, it's amazing. Here are the hero stats again. This one. So here are the hero stats again. So it's a fun setup, dominantly Stabbomancer. Keep in mind you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to not miss out notifications for more Wooter and not so Wooter content like this one or others like builds and guides. There's also memberships on my channel, which is a monthly recurring payment that you can cancel at any time, which will grant you access to special perks like emotes or badges made by me, as well as the option to ask me one-on-one for tutorials on Discord about Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects, just the basics though. Thanks again for watching all the way until the end. Struck weapon. Till next time and goodbye.